Yeah, hi everyone. Trust you are good. So welcome all to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about liquidity and zones. Zones and liquidity. Let me say zones and liquidity and liquidity. Liquidity. The reason why I will talk about zones and liquidity together is because liquidity is what we use to define zones. Liquidity is what we use to define zones. Yeah, so zones and liquidity. Okay, so now for a basic structure, okay, let me start by saying if we have a move from up to bottom, if we want to measure this move starts from 0 to what? To 100%. So there are two major levels that we focus on. Number one is what? Is the 50%, which is the middle. It's very important. And number two is the primary level, which is around 70% downward. Those are the major two levels that we focus on for market retracements. So if market is retracing back, we expect to come to maybe 50% of it, or to the what? To the primary zone, which is like 70% downward, and then we expect continuation. So that is how it is. So that is that about that. So if we have this, we say market will come to at least 50% of it, or comes to the discount level and then continue. That's what we expect. So anything below 50%, we don't really expect it. Anything below 50%, we really don't expect it. We expect to come to at least 50% of the initial move, or below 50%, which is the primary zone, and continue. So that is what our expectation. That is our expectation. So that's how we define our zones. So for example, for a basic structure zones, if we have this, market came back to around more than 50%, get another low, came to more than 50% of this retracement, came like this, and now have this. Now I told you the other time, what is this? Is this a true high? This is not a true high. This one came to the above 50% of it. It didn't come to above 50% of it. See now, it didn't come like this, just like this. It didn't come to above 50% of the retracement. What does it mean? It means this is a potential liquidity. So it means you can mark your point of interest zones like this, because zone is what we use. Liquidity is what we use to define zone. You can mark your zone like this, expecting that if market comes back to where market comes back to this point, you take your sell, because this one is now the real one that fulfill the rules of 50% rule. You understand? So that is how to mark a basic structure. So the simple way to mark a basic structure point of interest is when you have a rumbling, supported. You just see a load that shooted up, pull. You understand? Shooted up, pull. This, you know that this already become a point of interest, because whenever market comes back to it, you expect to react to it and continue. So that's majorly how to mark a so you want to pay attention to anywhere you see a mitigation, and market push up, pull. You want to pay attention to that point as a point of interest, as a zone that you want to be buying from. So another one is when market gives you a complex structure level. For example, if you have this, you have something like this, you want to pay attention to this level, because this one market created a low, so it means the first high after it is a liquidity, and market will come back and give this. So those are the way we mark our zones. You identify your liquidity points and you mark your zone below your liquidity. You identify your liquidity points and then you mark your zone below your liquidity. So that is how to mark liquidity. That is how we mark liquidity. Okay, so now let me talk about liquidity. Now I told you that what the difference between complex structure and basic structure is liquidity. So now we have primarily, let me say, three types of liquidity. That I think that I use, that I think others should be able to fall under this structural liquidity. So the first one is what I call primary and secondary liquidity. The next one is what I call incomplete pullback. The third one is what I call inducement trap leg. So those are the major type of liquidity that I use. So now, so let me talk about primary and secondary liquidity. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying the other time, that sometimes we can have, okay, I didn't talk about that. So these zones that I mentioned now, that sometimes that we can have violation of those zones. For example, market was supposed to come back here. If already marked as a point of interest, market just broke it, poof, impulsively. So those zone again, those area again, is still valid. That's what we call breaker block. Those zones area, just call it a violated level, can be used again for by continuation. That's one thing you must know. For example, if market broke this, no, market was supposed to come back here. If market was supposed to come back here, market now did this, came back a little bit, broke it impulsively. Market can come back there, the same point, and use it to continue selling. So that's something about you must understand about zones too. Okay, now so the first one is the primary and secondary liquidity. What do I mean by primary and secondary liquidity? Just listen. The first place market broke structure on the lower time frame, and the first place market broke structure on the higher time frame. The first high after market broke structure is a liquidity. At any point in time, the first high market creates or the first low market creates after breaking structure is a liquidity. Always remember that. For example, if we have this, market is going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. So if you have this, for example, now the market is going like this, low, high, low, high. The first place market broke structure on lower time frame is where? Here. because these are supported. Market broke this break of structure. Market broke this, right? The first high after break of structure inducement is liquidity. That's what we call primary liquidity. After market broke the external liquidity, which is the major break of structure outside here, the first high is also creates after break of structure of this one is also what? Is also a liquidity. That's what we call secondary liquidity. That's it. So it means that if market is coming back, what market will be targeting are the liquidities. So your zone will be below the liquidity. This will be your secondary zone, and this will be your primary zone, because liquidity is what market will be targeting. So if I want to buy from here, what are we expecting? Once market comes back here, I'll still teach you about my model. So once you the model is very simple. Once you identify your liquidity, just make sure market come back to the liquidity and give you a break of structure again, and then you take your entry. That's it. Or if market is coming to the primary zone, just make sure market takes the liquidity and give you a break of structure. That's all. That's the model. Simple model. Just make sure market, once you are able to identify your liquidity point, make sure market takes your liquidity and give you a break of structure on lower time frame. That's all. You take your trade. That's it. So this is the secondary liquidity, and this is what? Primary liquidity. First high after a break of structure is what? Is liquidity. That is that. About that. Number 2 is incomplete pullback. Example of incomplete pullback was the one I told you that time. For example, if you have this one is limited to 50% of this. This one now came, it didn't mitigate up to 50%. It means the pullback is not complete. So if market comes back there, it's a liquidity. The pullback is not complete. It did not mitigate up to 50% of this internal move of this previous support. You understand? It didn't mitigate up to 50% of this previous support. So it means it's incomplete. So it's not a break of structure, it's a liquidity. If market come back there, your zone will be below the liquidity, which is this. So we expect after, so this is your liquidity, right? So I told you that our model is that market changes break of structure after a liquidity. So once market has taken this liquidity, you just go to your lower time frame. Once you see a break of structure, what does it mean? It means what? You continue buying. You understand? So that is that. About that is the incomplete pullback. I didn't mention something. A break of structure of a complex pullback is, I think I mentioned it. If market break a complex pullback, you know we have a break of structure already. If market break this, you know that we have a break of structure already. So that is how it is. So the same thing you are doing on higher time frame is the same when you look for your confirmation on lower time frame. For example, if you see your liquidity on higher time frame, on 15 minutes time frame, you just go after market has taken your liquidity, you just go to like 5 minutes or 1 minute to see your break of structure. If market can give you a break of structure, it's a complex structure, break of structure, you continue your trade. That's all. You understand? So now the third one is what? Inducement trap leg. What do I mean by inducement trap leg? That one is a complex structure liquidity. After market has what? Giving you this, taking the low and giving you high. Market can create a new high. This high is a trap. You know this one took liquidity. This one is a strong high. This one is what? A break of structure. This high that market creates, market will now create something like this. This high is a trap. It's a liquidity towards this strong guy. So this is your point of interest. Market will come below that low to create. So that low is a B structure. It's a B. Even though it's bigger than 50%, but because it's a liquidity, after market has taken this liquidity, broken the first high, it's still like the first time market created after a break of structure. because market took this and broke structure. So it's what? It's a trap leg. It's inducement trap leg. I'll give you example of everything. Market did this, did this, did this, came to take it and did this. The first high it created, it's a liquidity. Just see market come like this. Many people will be saying, okay, market has broken structure, but you know that it has not broken structure because the previous high was a strong leg. Market just use this as a liquidity towards it and give you an higher high. So those are the things that used to confuse people about liquidity. I now think the market has broken structure or something. So that's the liquidity that we have in the markets. Those are the major liquidity that we have in the markets.